Good morning. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Unity of Tacoma. My name is Stephan Plummer. Some people say Stephan. We were debating earlier, and I said I'm not sure what my name is anymore. Stephan, so just call me Stephan Plummer, or whatever. It's okay. It's fine. So I want to say welcome, and what a lovely song. And I just wanted to get up and dance. How about you? So this is Katie, Jane, and Adam, the band, right? Okay. All right. Well, welcome. And now let's do the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. And now we'll have another song. Woohoo! The room is lit up. We are fired up, aren't we? Katie, Jane, band, and Adam. Let's give it for yeah. Wow. You know, it's one of the things that I love about this center, is that the creativity is just alive and on fire here. And the difference that makes in the community and in the world. and all that is contributed here. I know Denise is an awesome artist and has art up everywhere here, and they feed the hungry. They make sandwiches once a month. There's all kinds of outreach programs. And in fact, I would love for Denise to come up and share. She's willing to do that, so let's give her a hand. And willing to share about the art. So come on up, Denise. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Good morning. Hi, guys. How are you doing? So, we do lots of art at Unity. It's one of the things that we love. And this is what I tell everybody to do, and I don't do it. Okay, so we do lots of stuff at Unity, but art is one of the ones that we do. We do a lot of art. And we've done it in a lot of different ways. We've incorporated it here and in a lot of our programs. But my very favorite is the Faith in Action art. I love that.
Woohoo.
And that's coming up, and it has evolved over the years. It used to be a very singular person would do all this art. And then Eileen Newton came onto the pictures. I needed a team leader, and she stepped up. I think it was like 2007 or something. And she said, let's do art like Iron Chef. Let's put a bunch of stuff on the table. Everybody has their own color, and we do it all at one time in a workshop, all 7 weeks done. And we did, and it was so great. So we have kept that tradition going for the most part. This year, in 2019, we did art, and we had 2 young congregants that really enjoyed it. It was Kayla and Gabby, and they had so much fun. She said, can we do something in the spring? Just do a workshop. And I said, sure, what do you want to do? She says, wouldn't it be cool if we got a bunch of canvases and we drew a picture on it, and then we separated all the canvases like puzzle pieces, and everybody did art, and then we put it back together? And I said, wow, that sounds really cool. Let's do that. And so she started working on it, and then the pandemic came. And it was kind of sad because we were like, we're so there. We had done all the footwork. We've done all the brainstorming, but we still did it. So we got all the canvases together. We put them in little bags. We added some supplies. We had a time where people could come to the church one at a time and pick up any kind of art supplies they needed. And we did it. And this is it. This is our social distancing art. And everybody took their piece. Nobody had an inkling except for that there were markings of a mandala on it, and that was it. And it's beautiful. It's my favorite piece. So this year in Faith in Action, we are going to do something similar. We're going to take 8 canvases. I'm going to hand them out. The only difference is they have a little more structure because they have to have the color of the week, and there has to be an affirmation, and they have to, tell a story. But we're going to do the art like this, and you're going to see it hanging here for the next 8 weeks starting October 1st. I love doing all this stuff. It's so much fun, and I always get like this apprehension, like it's not going to turn out, and then it turns out. So thank you so much for all your participation with the art. Thank you for supporting Unity of Tacoma to be able to do this.
All right. Wow. Thank you, Denise. Isn't that incredible? It's no accident that today my talk is about creativity. I am in the right place at the right time, and so are you. So look around the room at all the art and the musicians and the sound guys back here making us sound great. And I am creative. Like, that's what I'm aware of right now. I am creative. And you are creative. So just breathe that in for a moment. Just breathe it in. So there's a YouTube video of a lady. Her name is Stacy Westfall, and she won the world champion reining competition, which is horse reining. She's a trainer, horse trainer, and which is hard enough as it is. But she said she dedicated her ride to her father, who was always telling her to try something new, and so she did it without a bridle or a saddle. And and the music that's playing with the video is Live Like You Are Dying. And very humbling. So every time I think like I can't do something, not that I want to do that, but the other things that I have that are mine to do, that sometimes I'm like, oh, can I do that? Yes, I can. And, it's a question of how many days do I spend unconscious? Like, just to think about that. There's a Native American tradition where when a male leaves the tribe for hunting, for war, or for exploring, they always say, today is a good day to die, which means it's a good day to live also. But it also means that I am full. I'm living in my fullness today. Today is a good day to die, and it's a good day to live, right? All right. I'm so glad to be alive. And that touches about where my attention is towards each and every one of us. And the reason why I do what I do music, I do CDs. I just released my 5th CD about overcoming. And it's the cover of the CD is me standing there with the wings behind me, And I mean, that's freedom, right? Freedom to overcome. Hallelujah. And, caring for people. I love people. I'm a people person. I should work with people all the time. And children, and music, and art, and cooking. It's amazing to me how all those things seem like the same thing to me. Like when I'm cooking and coming up with some incredible meal. Like I have a friend who says, whatever Stephan is cooking, I'm eating. And I'm like, but you don't even know. I don't care, And she's like, it takes me like 10 minutes to cut up a zucchini. And I'm like, I have a whole meal done, like a gourmet meal in a half hour, right? And she's like, how'd you do that? Practice, right? Practice. So one of my vision statements is that I am a part of many thriving communities, which I am, being a musician, going around to all the different churches. And, those are filled with individuals, and we are thriving. And thriving meaning process, not arrived. There is no arrival. Like we don't suddenly get a stamp of approval from God or the universe or anything else saying, oh, you took all the classes and you've smiled 9,400 times, so click, you have arrived. No, there is no arriving. Thriving is an idea that came from Viktor Frankl. Thriving, which means that you are always in the process of becoming what you can be. Fully you, right? Each person is unique. It's like our fingerprints. It's wonderful. Isn't it wonderful? Yeah. Art creates a better world, and beauty feeds the soul. A quote from Picasso, art blows off the dust on our soul. I love that. We get grimy with everyday life, and then suddenly, art, woo, and something feels cleaner. Something has shifted. We need food, water, and shelter, but on a higher level, what the soul needs is an opportunity to appreciate beauty and the diversity that shows up as other human beings, right? We're all diverse. It's beautiful. Art lifts the human spirit because the human spirit can create art. There's everything in the world is intelligent, but humans can create art. I'm amazed daily, on a daily level, of all the intelligence in life. Like, there's a TED Talk on the scientific evidence that trees talk to each other and support each other. Wow. And, I know that they turn their leaves toward the sun, and, I grew up in the South, so before it would rain, the leaves would turn. You could see the backs of the leaves. That's pretty clever, right? But trees also give out chemicals in the ground, so that there's other trees that are being helped when those trees need it. And it's being helped by chemicals that are being released through the ground. Pretty cool, right? And I'm shocked at how intelligent trees talk to each other and care for each other. Everything is intelligent. Ants are intelligent, right? Leave out some sugar. I don't know how they find it, but in a very short time they find it. That's pretty intelligent. But humans create art. And we are creative. We were created to create. Let's just take a moment and breathe that in. And if you have a niggle or a discomfort with the word creative or creativity or creation or create, then just breathe that in and breathe that out. Because that's just negative talk going on in our heads. Like, I'm not creative, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go watch the Stacey Westfall video, and, she'll be done talking here in a minute. And no, you are it. You are creative. Okay, how many of you know that you're a human being? Praise God. You were created to create. We were born to be creative, and the more that we own up to that, the more we will thrive. Because one of the ways to not thrive is to pretend that we are not creative. We are creative. And how do I know this? Because the Bible tells me so. It's, the Bible and creativity, it's the same words that we have sometimes niggles with. So I'm bringing up both the words today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Bible now. So we were born to be creative, and the Bible tells us that we must be creative because we are creative, because we are in the image and the likeness of God. And what we know about God is that God creates. And so we must be like that. Genesis talks about, let's create man in our image. And yes, the King James Version could not get away from the plural in the story. Perhaps it's the idea of yin and yang, a kind of duality, but also likeness. So what is the Creator like? We must talk into our creative inheritance. I think of the Bible as a service manual on how to upkeep my soul, how to have things run more smoothly. Do these things and you'll run more smoothly. It's an owner's manual. It's my owner's manual. And there's all sorts of ways to do things. And if I've been doing something, but then I do it in a different way, then I'm being creative, And, we are creative, and we should own our creativity because that's what human beings do. That means we create bridges and boats and central air conditioning and guns and bombs. And through our thinking and our actions, we can create heaven and hell, which is the second chapter of Genesis. And I'm not going to get into that anymore. I'm going to get back over on creativity. We get to wake up and grow up as human beings. And if we are going to be spiritually mature human beings, then we create a thriving life for ourselves and a better world for people, because that's what we do. If trees are looking out for other trees, then we should use our creativity to look out for each other and to thrive ourselves. This goes so far beyond the law of attraction, which says basically if you keep seeing it, you'll attract it. But there's so much more to that law that we are using, and we must use in a very creative way. Beyond the law of attraction, there's also the law of mental equivalent, which says that it's not what you see, it's who you are when you see it. It's more than attraction. We're not just going to create because we put pictures on the wall. We also have to know who we are, that we are in the middle of those pictures, and that there's a lot of people who say, no, I just want to see it, or I just want to feel it. But no, we also have to be it. And the way that you be it is that you act from it. It's the law of circulation. You are what you give away, what you participate in. It's the law of karma. It's Hinduism. It's Judaism. It's all of these things. How many of you have ever wanted something, but all you ever see is that other people have it? It's the law of attraction. But we create through what we see and through what we allow ourselves to be and what we initiate in the world. Like, what are we doing? What are we creating? What are we initiating in this world? For good. So who would like to be more creative? Yeah, for good stuff. Because I want to tell you, you're creative. So what's the first way to do this? Here's another one of those words. You ready? Drum roll. Be responsible. Take a breath. Own up and be responsible. But the word responsible has gotten a bad rap, like it's a bad word in our culture. And it doesn't mean bad. It doesn't mean wrong. We don't want to be responsible because we think that it could mean that we're wrong. Instead, it's like, I'm in this. I can respond to this. I can shift this. Whatever it is, I can do something with it. It's being responsible. So what I want is for us to be free of wrong. One of the reasons that we don't try something new or experiment or create is that we don't want to seem wrong. Because we've made wrong the opposite of right. And we won't do it right the first time. Stacy Westfall said that it took her 3 years to get her and her horse to do what she did. And that was after she had already learned to be a great rider. So I bet the first time that she took off the bridle, it was not pretty. But she was responsible for what she said she wanted to have in her life and in the world. Responsible is a beautiful word. It gives us freedom. It gives us the opportunity to be hopeful, because if I'm responsible for how I react to this and what I do with this, then I know I have a say in it. If I have no say, then I'm a victim, even of my own smallness, even of my own inadequacy. So I've stopped saying blank. You can fill in the blank with whatever it is that I say, and you probably have those things that you say, right? And I'm just going to stop saying it. Even if it crosses my mind, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to be responsible, even if it takes a very long time to do what other people may do and are able to do very quickly. Responsible, it's such a good word. There's so many examples of responsible. And one that comes to mind is George Washington Carver. He was the son of slaves, and even after they were emancipated, there were still people who thought that they should be slaves. His mother was carried off and killed just because she tried to make a living for her and her son. There are so many reasons that he could have been a victim and played small, but he chose to be amazing. And there's so many things. He studied agriculture and came up with over 150 uses for peanuts beyond just eating them, and over 50 uses for potatoes besides just eating them. He was amazing. He said, I'm responsible for my life, not what has happened, not the past, but how I'm reacting to it. And that's a purely human example of just saying, no, I can do this. I can be responsible. And the other thing is stop playing small creative games. See, we create, but we make up small creative games that keep us small, like making big deals out of insignificant stuff. Do you know somebody that is like that? It makes big deals out of insignificant stuff. Like, oh my God, it's the drama again. Drama, drama. It's so creative. It's actually very creative. And it gets the heart pumping and the story's going, but it doesn't do any good. It's not like, let's find a solution. Let's help out. What can I do? It's just making a big deal out of small stuff. There is a saying, the way to solve a problem is to get a bigger one. Use your creativity for a much bigger storyline than what you've been putting your attention on. So just take a moment and ask yourself, where is your creative energy going? And is that allowing you to thrive? And if it's not allowing you to thrive, are you willing to get a bigger storyline? Let's just take a moment there. Let's just go within and think about all of those things and all that creative energy that you have. And how is it being used, and how are you allowing it to be used? And is it thriving you? Is it thriving your community? Is it a big enough game for you to be playing? Just ask yourself, what would you be willing to take on if the universe completely supported you, which it does, by the way, and God is with you, and whatever you're being inspired to do came from God, and it's up to you if you want to take it on or not. And if you do, then putting your whole self into it, and what would that look like? And what are the things that you tell yourself you would really love to realize in your life, and the visions that you look out in the world and you see it in other people's lives, and you say, oh, what do you say about it? Do you say that you could never have that? What do you say? What's this negative self-talk that you can let go of and reach into yourself and in your inheritance of your beautiful, wonderful, creative power that we were given by the divine? And what can you do with that would serve you, that would thrive you? What are those things? Can somebody just mention what comes to you right now? Just holler it out. Something that you'd love to have more in your life. Creating by you. Being created by you. Friends? Yes. Connection. I mean, it's great to do things by ourselves, and we can do a lot of things by ourselves, but when we join together in community, we're unstoppable. We can do anything. And when we bind that energy together, that's a force. But it's a consistency that's important too. Like, not just sometimes or once in a while, but what is the thing that can, just to keep that energy flowing and the power behind it, and say, every day, this is it. This is what I'm creating today. This is what I'm creating today. And just keep that energy going. Not just sometimes. I mean, when I go to the gym once in a while, it doesn't work out. I'm like, oh, I went yesterday and look, No, you have to keep going with it. So when we choose not to play small anymore, and I don't want to make a big deal out of anything. I've had a lot of things that I've struggled with, but I don't want to make a big deal about it because I don't want that to be my storyline, because it's just a story that I'm making up. I mean, how many of you have lived without something happening in your life? So we be responsible about it, knowing that we're in it and creating a story around it that serves us. Create a story around it that serves you so that we're going to play a larger creative game. Then the first thing you're going to do is that you have to understand that you can play a game, and it's like, okay, we're going to play a game. Okay, this is a game. Okay, we're going to make it fun. There's a short documentary on Finland who at one time they didn't have a great educational system, meaning that the number of graduates, the number of students who went on to higher education, test scores, and etc. And then all of a sudden, they took off, and now they're number one. And in the highest rate of high school completion in the world. So what changed? They stopped working the kids, and they let them play more. And children learn through playing, don't they? I mean, you know, they're playing, but they're learning. And the question is, when did we stop playing? And what would we do if we just owned our creativity? Like, that's mine. Like, what is happening in the world, I am creating that. What's happening in my life, I'm responsible for that. That's me. Yep. All along, it's been, there I am. I see me, there again. There I am doing that, you know, whatever that is, right? And, you know, they only go to school 20 hours a week, the children. And they let them play, and then when they come back from playing, they ask them questions, and then they just can't wait to answer. And, you know, it's just an amazing, amazing thing. Like when we give ourselves permission to play a game and to have fun, I think life can be full of so much joy and creativity and connection, you know, when we give ourselves permission to do those things and to realize that we're not going to do it right the first time. But that's okay, because there's nowhere to arrive to. It's a process. So let's just take a moment and breathe all that in. I know that's a lot of information, and I've been all over the place talking about the Bible and horses and creativity. And let's just pray now. Just take a deep breath. Let's take another deep breath. Yeah. Just relax. And move into the awareness that God is present. And let the Holy Spirit download within you what it would take for you to create a thriving life. What will it take? What will you create? And to know that means that you're called to do that. You're called to do that when you know that. And so it is. Thank you. Wow. And all the strings are still on there. I can see them. I'm not sure how they're still on there. So let's just give it up for the Katie, Jane, and Adam band, right? Did I say that right? Yes. Okay. Uh, so now we have offering, our offering, and our offering blessing, which is, oh, I know where that is. Denise is looking at me, she's giving me the hand signals, like 5, 4, no. Okay, the love offering. So we've come to the part of the service where we open our hearts to give. Let's just open our hearts to give. All the donations received here go to support the missions and various outreach programs here at Unity of Tacoma, and I know about some of those, and they're really incredible. This is an incredible community here, and so let's support this community. So there are several ways that you can give, and they will give a list of that. Is that right? That'll be online, yes. Okay. So as we prepare to give now, so I would like for you to hold your intention of prosperity within your hands, visualizing the circulation of abundance flowing through you. Jesus said in Luke 6:38, "Give, and you will receive. You will be given much, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. It will spill into your lap." The way you give to others is the way that God gives back. And as you visualize holding your gifts in your hands, please repeat after me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful for my blessings today. I am grateful in every way. And so it is. Amen. May the blessings of your gift bring more blessings back to you. We thank you for your love and support at Unity of Tacoma. And now we have the announcements. And we're going to have Victoria. Let's give Victoria some love. She is an awesome announcer. So here we go. Yeah, you can go to the podium, honey. Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Okay, so today got a full sheet of announcements.
All right.
So the first big deal of the day is we're having our picnic after this service, and we're going down to the South Park. So for those of you out there who would like to join us, weren't able to come in person this morning. The South Park Community Center is down at the corner of 50th and South Tacoma Way. If you turn east to go behind the community center, that's where South Park is. So it's just about 4 blocks from here. It's actually on Puget Sound and about 50th, between 50th and 51st. So we're going there directly after the service. So hope to see you there. It is a potluck. Bring a little something, makes up for a lot. We always have extra food at a potluck. So y'all come. Next Saturday, the 16th, oh my, we get to have our artist in residence. Denise Demos is going to be leading us in watercolor painting again next Saturday, the 16th at 11 o'clock in the morning. She's going to teach us some new techniques on how to work with fall colors and watercolors, and we'll be doing fall leaves and pumpkins, how
All right.
appropriate for the time. There's a suggested love offering of $10 per person, and that's to cover the supplies that it takes to do it. And then get ready. We're getting ready to launch Faith in Action. Art behind me is Faith in Action from last year. No. Year before? Well, it was great, and there'll be more art coming. And Faith in Action is going to be starting on October 1st. We do this every fall. We choose a book to go in depth that is chosen for this special time in our lives. The book this year is called Eternal Heart by Carl McColman, and I look forward to being a part of that. We also incorporate along with the book so that we can study it better as we have study groups. So there will be study groups for that to facilitate the learning. It'll be on Zoom and it'll be led by Reverend Lori. And she's going to give us further details on exactly how that's going to be set up. And if you'd like to be a part of the book study, please email Reverend Lori at unityoftacoma.org, and she will get you placed in the right spot. We are also incorporating the art, and Denise has a great art piece that we'll be working on again. See her as soon as possible, ASAP, if you are interested in being a part of that project. The 8 people can be involved. A couple spots have already been chosen, so come get your spot. I look forward to it every year because it's just, it brings it all to my heart and launches, how we do. So be sure and get a hold of Denise or Lori or somebody to let us know that you want to be one of those special 8. Then here comes the one. On October 1st, we will be staying after the message for an hour to bless animals that walk by out front of Surge. Now, it would be so terrific if we could bring our own animals into church, but that's not allowed. There's carpeting everywhere. So we're not bringing our own animals. We'll have to bless them at home. But right down the road, not far from that infamous bagel shop that has lines of people out front. What's it called, the bagel shop? Howdy Bagel. We might as well give them a plug because they sure are busy down there. But down there in between them and us is actually a dog watching place, doggy daycare. And they usually walk the dogs in the alley behind us. But we'll let them know that we're blessing the animals, so we'll have more animal traffic in front of Unity on the 1st of October. Come join our community. Come be a part of our family. We'd love to have you and look forward to seeing you someday. Happy Picnic Day.
Thank you, Victoria. And so now we have, one other announcement I want to make is right across the street, kitty corner over here, at 4 p.m., there's a reggae concert. And it's to raise money for the people in Maui, a place near and dear to my heart, and Lahaina, and all the people there. And so if you get an opportunity, it's on South Tacoma Way and 54th. And it's like a whole block that they're just going to, do music, and it's going to be great. So at 4 p.m., yes, at 4 p.m., and then I think it just goes until whenever. So if you get a chance to come to the picnic and also to support the concert and support the people of Maui, and we'll just give them our blessing as well. So now we have the benediction. So let's all stand, and we're going to have the peace song, and it's going to be, the music is going to be given by our sound folks here, and we're all going to join in, right? Okay, got it. Let's do this. All right.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. God, our Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.